In the diversity field, I think we've often looked at how are people different. I think we need to start with where are they the same? What can they contribute? And again, that's back to that idea. Don't just look at what's wrong, look at what's right. Look at what people have in terms of their gifts and their talents, and where can we put them in the field. One of the things, and I'm going to preempt a comment, I've been hearing a lot about people getting stressed and almost tired of, we're living in this crisis and the TV is all bad news and charts of mortality rates and curves. And so I started to think, how can I help people I talk to begin to envision that future? I'm going to share a very quick metaphor. And it comes from my son-in-law, who's a doctor. You're driving down the road and you see an accident. He jumps out and does first aid. You get the victim out of the car, you stop the bleeding, you do triage at some level. I think that's where we are in this crisis. It hit us so quickly, nobody knew it was coming. And individuals, you're now at home with 3 kids trying to do homeschooling. You're working at home when you've never done it. Some of us have done it forever. Welcome to our crazy world, and we hope you don't end up growing up like us. But I think the first phase of accident is simply first aid, assessment. We're not planning, we're simply reacting.
And triage, I think, is a really good metaphor.
You just react. You jump out of the car, my son-in-law, or as a doctor, jumps out, stop. The next thing is the ambulance comes, and there's a bit of a transition phase. And so our accident victim, metaphorically the individual or the organization, what goes on in an ambulance? Emotional support. You're going to be okay. Deeper diagnosis. Why are you bleeding? Connection to experts. Let me get help. I think some companies and people are now beginning to say, some people are saying, oh, we're a new normal. Well, that's stupid. The ambulance isn't normal. It's not normal for me to be in my office and Rita, my close friend, to be in her office. But there is a transition phase that we're going to see, and some are moving there. Then you get into the hospital. You get deep expertise. You get systems. You get a solution. I think in this crisis, individuals are going to reassess their solutions, and organizations are going to build processes. What do we need to change? And then finally, we go home. And for some of us, after an accident, home is a fundamentally new identity. Heaven forbid, you lose a limb, you're handicapped. For me, I've had some health problems recently. It's not a life change. It's not an identity. It's actually adapting a new set of issues that I'm going to have to live with as I go forward. That's the new normal. And the new normal is going to be very different. So let me do it again very quickly. There's an accident phase where it's triage, just react. I'm seeing companies getting through some of that, cutting costs, get it done. Your CFO, go do this, get the government loan. Then we have an ambulance phase, get some emotional support, begin to get help, begin to do diagnosis, then get into the hospital, understand the solutions, understand the systems, and then somewhere, and I have no idea where it's going to be in this crisis, we're going to get home. We are going to go back to work. There is value in office. There's value in connecting. There's value in engaging customers and processes. And that new home may be a new identity. That's kind of cool. Or the new home may be adapting new insights that we didn't have before and new lifestyles. So if I've had a health problem, maybe I've had a foot problem and I've had some problems with my feet. Now it's not a new identity, but it's an insight. How do I care for myself in this setting? I hope in HR and business leaders, we can begin to look forward. Again, I think we do look backward to learn. Somebody just said, this is Judy Zagorski, who's a dear friend, talks about these are the phases of grief. And what it leaves us with is a sense of hope, a sense of, I can do this. I'm going to leave this crisis better than I came into it.